I'm Ted Berg for SNY.TV, and this is the baseball show presented by Pepsi Max, joined today by Tim Wakefield and Phil Niekro. We're going to talk about knuckleballs, obviously. Guys, in the new movie Knuckleball, you talk a lot about the mentality required to throw the knuckleball. Phil, we'll start with you because I know you started throwing your knuckleball relatively early in your career, early in life. Do you remember the first time you threw the knuckleball in a competitive game?
Probably my first game as a freshman in high school is probably when I did it. So far back, I can't remember what I thought then, but all I knew is that my high school coach liked it. I made the team throwing a knuckleball. I could get guys out throwing a knuckleball, and I pitched 4 years of high school with it.
And were you throwing primarily knuckleballs then?
Yeah, I was a knuckleball pitcher. I had the old roundhouse high school curveball, and I never did throw hard, but that was it, and I knew it.
And Tim, I know you came up a first baseman, but did you ever pitch in high school? Did you ever pitch before that? And did you ever throw the knuckleball then?
Yeah, I had experience as a pitcher in high school. I played first base and pitched, but I did have a little bit of experience throwing a knuckleball. It's something that I always had in my back pocket, but I would only throw it if I were winning 7-0 in the 7th inning and I had 2 strikes on the last hitter. So it was something that was fun to throw if you had a big lead, but I didn't trust myself with it at that point in my life.
So what does it take to develop that trust in the pitch?
You really have to commit to it. You really have to sacrifice all your normal thinking and say, you know, this is what's, you know, going to be my bread and butter, and without it, you're going to go home and find a job. So that's kind of what how my career unfolded as a position player, you know, drafted out of college. It was either that or go home and get a job somewhere.
Phil, do you think it takes a special type of personality to throw the knuckleball in the major leagues, to sort of to put caution to the wind, so to speak, literally, really, and put faith in the idea that you're going to throw a 65-mile-an-hour pitch over the plate, or try to throw it over the plate to a big league pitcher, big league hitter, and just see what happens?
Oh, I'm agreeing with Tim. I think we've talked about it a lot. You really got to make a commitment that you want to be a knuckleball pitcher. A knuckleball isn't a pitcher you're going to throw with 2 or 3 other pitches. You know, you're not a knuckleball pitcher. The knuckleball pitcher, you're going to throw that thing 9 out of 10 times, 85, 90 out of 100, mix another fastball in there or whatever else you throw. But to be a knuckleball pitcher, you got to eat, sleep it 24 hours a day, throw it and practice and practice. And there'll be one day somewhere, if you commit yourself to it, there'll be one pitch or one backyard or in high school or in the minor, somewhere you're going to say, that's it. All the times I've been throwing it, that's the thing I'm looking for right there, and remember it and go with it from there.
Tim, you had the whirlwind start with the Pirates. You caught on with the Red Sox. You wound up staying with the Red Sox in one of the greatest offensive eras in baseball history, in one of the best offensive parks in baseball, in front of one of the most hostile fan bases in baseball.
Yeah.
Did you ever stop and think, and maybe now that your career is over, you can look back on it, you ever think about how crazy it was what you were doing?
Now that I'm retired, yeah, it's like I'm amazed at you know, how I did it, and to think how I did it was always looking forward, never looking behind you. You know, I give, you know, talks to young people, and I always say there's a reason why they made the rearview mirror so small and the windshield so big, because they don't want you driving backwards. And you know, it's a philosophy that I carried throughout my whole life. Is like no matter what things happen to you, just keep moving forward. And I think, especially in the movie, one of the greatest life lessons and one of the greatest lessons that I learned from this guy over here is learning to accept your losses without being defeated. You know, and you know, you lose a game, you pitch bad, it's okay. Go back to square one and start working again and be better the next time. And you know, and I think people who watch the film can take away, you know, some very valuable life lessons that we've learned throughout our careers.
Phil, one of the things you mentioned on the Mets broadcast is that a pitching coach, a conventional pitching coach, isn't often much help to a knuckleballer, and another knuckleballer is. Say Tim has a poor outing and gives you a call afterwards. What is the type of thing you tell him?
Well, let's get together. Probably the first thing. You know, maybe I didn't see the game, and he could tell me maybe what happened, but maybe I can't visualize that, so I've got to see that and go from there with it. And there are some major league pitching coaches that have a little idea about it, but when we get in trouble out there, we're basically on our own. We're our own teachers, and we got to help each other, which we've done throughout our careers. And it just, there's nobody to get some help from except us guys. You know?
So what type of help, beyond the mental stuff, is there physical stuff that Phil might help you with, or is it mostly just psychological?
A little bit, not physical stuff, but mechanical. Some things, some checkpoints that you may have written down. But like Phil said, know your own mechanics. Like what works best for you. We all throw the same pitch, but we all maybe throw it a little bit differently. So you have to figure that out, and that's what the commitment, the sacrifice of getting on a backfield somewhere and throwing a ball against the wall or throwing to a friend and just figuring out, okay, that works, and let's try to repeat that, and remember that or jot it down on a piece of paper. So those are your checkpoints. And conventional pitching coaches, you hand them your check. Please watch for this or this or this, and go from there. And if something really drastic happens, basically. You call Phil or Charlie or RA, and just it's such a unique pitch that the fraternity is so small. That's what makes the bond so great, is we're able to help each other because we've walked in miles in the shoes that everybody else is trying to do.
Yeah, you talk about that. I'm thinking everybody in here can name how many knuckleball pitchers in the history of the game. How many knuckleball pitchers that you could come off your head right now?
Oh, the four of you from the movie, and Wilbur Wood and Hoyt Wilhelm and Tom Candiotti, and I know there was Charlie Hager and Zink who both pitched pretty recently.
Out of thousands and thousands
yeah, so
of
maybe what,
pitchers out
15, 20?
There's a handful.
Yeah. Eddie Seacott, right?
Yeah.
So not many. Not many.
at all.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Ted. Thanks for having us.